Hey guys, what's up? It's your girl Ginger Fox here, and I'm gonna be reading another scary legend. I believe this was scary legends. I'm gonna be reading this one called Meat Grinders. I've never heard this one before, but if it is, I'm going to guess that maybe somebody was in a meat factory and fell in, and then people started to get haunted by stuff. Maybe it's just a guess. I don't really know. I mean, I heard people actually falling into meat grinders, but not like scary legend of it, unless it's like that kind of scary legend or not. I'm not sure. But that's just my guess. But we'll get into this now, guys. The Meat Grinders is a scary urban legend about two children who disappeared many years ago at Farmer John's meat packing plant in Tucson, Arizona. Oh no. They fell into the meat grinders? What? According to local legend, the meat grinders in Farmer John's meatpacking plant in Midtown Tucson are haunted by the ghosts of two murdered children. What? Oh, they were murdered. What? In 1964. Hey, that was the year my father was born. Okay, sorry. Anyways. The slaughterhouse and meatpacking plant was owned by a man named Warren James. He had two children. Sarah, who was 8 years old, and Nelson, who was 6. Oh no, they're so tiny. They're so young. One afternoon in early October, Mr. James was delighted when his children dropped in to visit him at work. Their nanny, Miss Dillies, had brought the two kids by for a short visit. She ushered them into their father's office and told them to wait there until he was ready to spend some time with them. Then she left to take a short break. Miss Stillies had only left the children alone for a few minutes, but when she returned, she was shocked to discover that the office was empty and the two children were gone. Unable to locate them, she alerted their father. Why would you leave the kids alone anyways? They're not meant to be alone. Like, I know that they're 8 and 6, but they're still young. They still had to be taken care of. Miss Dillies had already read that. Sorry. Mr. James immediately shut down the production line and asked his employees to assist in the search for the missing kids. They all walked around the meat packaging plant, looking under tables and moving machinery, but there was no sign of Sarah or Nelson anywhere. By this time, Mr. James had become frantic. He decided to contact the police and report his two young children missing. Soon afterwards, a police car pulled up and 2 officers arrived to make a more thorough search. After spending hours combining the factory, searching high and low, the police could find no trace of the missing children. It seemed as if they had vanished into thin air. Their parents were inconsolable. A week passed and there was still no sign of Sarah Nelson. The police suspected foul play and a team of officers dispatched to go over the entire building with a fine-tooth comb. This time, they examined the meat processing machinery very closely and their diligence finally paid off. They discovered what appeared to be traces of human remains, lodged in the sharp blades of the meat grinders. The entire plant was immediately closed down, and a recall order was issued for all meat that had recently left the plant. The official reason given was contaminants found in meat, human in nature. Oh, God. Within days, the police issued a warrant for the arrest of the children's uncle. Mr. James' brother had a long history of being mentally unstable. No! No! His job in the factory involved feeding meat into the meat grinders. As horrible as it was to contemplate, the police believed that the crazed man had murdered his niece and nephew. No! No! When they broke the horrible news to Mr. James, the devastated man collapsed in despair. The police had to explain to the grieving father that his own brother had fed the bodies of the poor children into the waiting jaws of the meat grinders. No! No. A few days later, even though the remains of Sarah and Nelson had not been recovered, they were officially declared dead due to the horrific publicity. Nobody was willing to accept meat from the factory, and it soon went out of business. Oh, God. Shortly afterwards, the dead body of Mr. James was found hanging in the factory's refrigerated meat locker. Oh no. Oh no. Driven out of his mind by grief, he had taken his own life. After his death, the meat plant was sold, and over the years, it passed through many hands. 10 years later, the new owner began contacting the police to report mysterious trespassers in his factory. According to the employees who worked there, a little girl and boy were constantly spotted running around the building. No. What? That's the ghost of them? Matters only became worse when his frightened employees claimed they had seen an adult man throwing 2 young children into a meat grinder. No! No. When the workers rushed over to stop the crazed individual, he disappeared in the thin air. What the fuck? Eventually, employees quit and refused to work at the plant. I would too. Screw that shit. I'm out. Oh no. Saying that it was haunted. Soon the factory was abandoned and left to fall into ruin. Oh, hell no. However, that was not to be the end of the strange incidents. In 1984, 20 years to the day after the children had vanished, a security guard patrolling the area discovered the body of a disheveled man hanging in the factory's meat locker. Oh, why? After being transported to the mortuary, the man was identified as Warren James, the uncle of the missing children. Oh no. Unexpectedly, the medical examiner found the words, "I killed them," carved into his chest. What? They say that every year during the month of October, the ghostly figures of 2 young children can be seen running around the abandoned factory building. No! On Halloween night, according to legend, the shadow image of a man can be seen hanging in the meat locker, while another figure can be seen dumping 2 small bodies into the meat grinders. No! That's disturbing. I can't get that image in my head. No. This another sick, twisted way to become like Jeffrey Dahmer. And just like friggin' like, instead of like cooking people up and shit and cutting them up and stuff and drugging them, they just found an easier way to do it and just throw them right in there. Oh, no. No. The sick part is, though, there's probably some places that does that shit. I don't want to think about it. Ugh. Yuck. Ugh. Imagine buying meat at a store, and then they come on the news and say, "Don't eat this meat. There's human nature in it." Ugh. I hope it never comes to that. I hope it never comes to it. No. I hope you guys enjoyed this video, though. As always, stay safe and take care. Bye-bye.